What's up, everybody? It's Jimmy with Trading Decoded. It is May 20th, 2024. It's 4:04 in the afternoon. The market is closed. And the title of today's video is Patience Wins Again. Very often we take aggressive trades in the morning, but even then, even though they're aggressive trades because they're relatively close to the open, sometimes on the opening candle, you still got to be patient. And the reason I say that is because the consensus this morning was we were looking originally for a quick move to the downside in puts. Now, fortunately, we also have a put line scenario, which would have kept us out of trying to play puts too early. So as we always do, guys, I draw my pre-market lines. We quickly fell out of pre-market with a downtrend. So I was ready to play puts if we could get through specific levels on both SPY and Qs, okay? All right, so we wanted Qs, two criteria. We wanted Qs to be below this 452 line, and we wanted SPY to break below 529.41. Easy enough. Right? Well, we're prepared for puts. Qs look like they want to get down here. I'm sorry, SPY gets like they want to get down here. We still have to get through the pink line. We got to get through a futures line. We have to get through this support before we could even consider taking puts anyway. Qs did close below that support, and we were hoping that the Qs would continue down. Now that didn't happen, and that's okay because we never hit the trigger to get into puts on SPY anyway. So we had to change gears. We talked about the idea that, hey, if you're still interested in puts, which I would take off the table as long as Qs if they get back above 452, puts have to come off the table. Was our exact words, but we were interested in potentially playing puts here at this resistance so that if it did stop at the yellow line, you can get out with slight profit. I'll also say, contracts were extremely cheap this morning. They were not moving nearly as much as they do on regular days or more volatile days. The contract pricing was cheap. It's usually an indication that the volatility is low. We didn't have a large expected range today, although we did take out that range. Both Qs and SPYs made all-time highs again today. But here's the fact of the matter. Our call line is a breach of 529.93. We're looking for at least a move up to the first line, and Qs were breaking through resistances, so we were trying to hold on as long as we could. Now, I myself got in here on the call scenario, and I got out over here when Qs were hitting resistance. Okay? Once we get up past this line of resistance, I tell everybody, if you want to stay in this trade, simply move your stops to break even. And we need to stay above 530.08 as support. It was resistance. Turn it into support. As long as we stay above that, we should assume it's going to try to continue to go up. And again, I don't trade against the Qs. What is going on the Qs? Massive move to the upside. Now, if you can't play calls comfortably because you have a put bias, that's okay. All I'm asking you to do is not buy puts every time we hit a new line of resistance. Wait for a reason to take puts. The word put did not come out of my mouth today unless we hit a very specific scenario, which we will get into. Puts, the only time we talked about puts was in the open. Once we got above this line and started to move up, puts were not a thing. But naturally, we have people out there saying, Jimmy, when would you buy calls or when would you buy puts? And I said, well, I'll tell you which scenarios I need to see happen before I would buy puts. But let's continue with our calls. So naturally, when we're moving up, we want to buy calls during pullbacks to support, looking for the move to continue up. Now at 9:45, Qs had just closed with a break and retest above their line of support. We were hoping that they were going to continue up to their next resistance. Okay? SPY, same time, closed above resistance during an uptrend. I'm expecting this thing to move up, whether it's to its first line here on SPY or the next line up. Depends on the Qs. Q's got a nice big move to the upside and continued to go up. Guys, we were talking about Q's hitting their all-time highs all the way back here. So, hey, guys, the put scenario didn't play out. We never even got a reason to get in. Market's strong, market's happy. I wouldn't be surprised if we can reach all-time highs. That's what this green dotted line is up here. So we had people get in all the way down here and get out all the way up here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trade. Okay? Now, all of these were entries. Pullbacks to support with the move to continue up. Support both with Qs and SPY, by the way. Not just SPY, not just Qs. Both of them pulling back to support at the same time. Up, okay, pulled back. Support on SPY. Let's see what was happening on the Qs at 9:53. Support right here on the Qs. Okay? That was that entry. Just look for confluence between them, guys. Now, ADD wasn't doing a whole lot today. It was trending up for the most part today, but it wasn't in the extremes, whereas the whole market was green or red, but it was trending up, okay? So we took our Qs from the Qs. Now, once we got up here, right around 10 o'clock, the market started to get not so great. At this point in time, our win-to-loss ratio was 5-to-1. 5 green traders for the day to every 1 red trader. That is a fantastic, fantastic pull. But what happens? Well, we start trading sideways, and people keep trading through this crap and start turning their red or green days into red ones, or people didn't play any of this because they have a put bias and lost because we never really came down. Whatever the case is, guys, every day in the first 30 minutes, maybe an hour, you will get at least one good clean move. Most of the time, it's many clean moves to take advantage of so that you can get in the market, get your money, get out of the market, and be done for the day. Sitting in front of this chart all day long is not going to net you bigger wins, more wins, or consistent wins. This is a fact. You will not be a more profitable trader if you continue to trade all day long. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Now, as we're up here, I can always tell the people who have a bias that are dying to buy puts or dying to do something with their money, even though I'm saying, guys, I don't like the Qs enough to be jumping into puts. There's nothing here. So I gave 2 criteria. In order for me to take puts, 2 things need to be true at the same time, especially on a nice up day like this. Number 1, SPY needs to be below 530.77. Number 2, Qs need to be below this line of support right here. I had an alert set here at 453.98. If those 2 things were true, I'd be willing to take a counter trend trade on the day. Okay, now I was done trading for the day. I took 2 trades today. Both were in the up move. Okay, first one was a 13% win. The second one was a 34.4% win. Nice day for me. Qs kept running up and got through all-time highs and made brand new ones. And then it started to pull back. Now, of course, people are saying, Jimmy, would you buy puts now? Would you buy puts now? Guys, I was getting a little frustrated for that. I'm sorry. I told you hours ago what I would want to see in order for me to take puts in this uptrending day. ADD was trending up. Qs was trending up. SPY was trending up. Your heat map was more green than red. What is it about the puts? Is it because we're at all-time highs and you can't accept that it's here? Well, it's here. All right, it's here. It's an election year. It is what it is. Play the chart for what it is. Now, we had an alert down here, 453.98. If we cross that line, I believe the Qs are going to make a violent move, were my exact words, way before it got there. It's the last level of support before it has a nice room to go down to the next support. Look at the gap here. Okay? Now, when people were asking me if I'd buy puts from up here, the answer is no. Why? Because what was the success rate once we got above this 454.05 line right here on the Qs of getting back below it ever since we got above it. Let me answer the question for you. 0% chance we got through those 3 lines, or this line specifically, once we got above it. So that's why I needed us to be below that line and preferably below this double bottom right here before I would be interested in puts. Guys, it's not a hard concept. What seems to be hard for people is when this happens and you can't help yourself but to jump in the puts right when you get to the strongest level of support in the day. Okay, it's not like you got in up here. You got in here when it's the most difficult time for Qs to move down. And I don't care if Qs stop abruptly moving down or up, SPY is going to stop as well. Now, SPY was slowly trending down because ADD started to sell off, not aggressively, but it was starting to roll over. And when Qs trades sideways while ADD is moving down, SPY will start to trickle down. Okay, so we cleared our criteria a long time before Qs did. So yes, there is a bunch of opportunity to make money in a downtrend here, but I don't trade against the Qs. I want Qs to move or have room to move. That's just me. You do you. You're trying to learn from me, so I'm not going to tell you to do something that I wouldn't do. All right. Now, as we get down to this line of support that we had yet to get through, you need to be ready. Nobody knew how violent or quick this move was going to be. Okay. We get through that line in one shot, straight down. Okay. Massive move to the downside on SPY, all the way down. Here, I turn that one yellow. Down to one of our support lines. Again, guys, all of these lines are drawn before market open, every single one of them. Every single one of them. Okay? Every one of them held its support and resistance. Kind of crazy. So if you can wait for criteria number 1 was met here, criteria number 2 was met at 208 on the Qs. Nice quick move. We had some people that got in a little early, which is fine. Some folks got in because we finally closed below this pre-market low line on SPY, which gave them an opportunity to get here. This candle right here, because people were waiting patiently, turned a lot of red days green. Some people were trying to buy calls down here, which I would have never done, and maybe got their ass handed to them because of that. Whatever the case is, guys, this is way too late in the day for me to trade. But the point was that we were waiting for a very specific set of circumstances, looking for an explosive move. Should those circumstances get met, they got met. You got an explosive move. It was a nice, quick move down. And that was that. And then she ran right back up and closed out pretty flat-ish. All right. Today was not an easy day to trade unless you caught this nice move to the upside. A lot of you gave up whatever profits you made in that move to the upside for the next 2 hours. Some of you may have made money on this drop. Many of you got in this as a quick play in and out. And many of you didn't. And that's okay. But let me tell you something. If you didn't take any trades during this move to the upside, because you can't buy calls, because you don't think the market is going to go higher, it was the cleanest time to trade, hands down. Okay, it's not the market's fault if you don't accept what it's given you. So don't try and punish it by taking puts at every new high. I watch people do it every day. I'm desperately trying to tell you guys to not do that. I'm every day I spend time on this microphone begging people not to trade against the trend. Okay, and then I set up scenarios where if this happens, then I'd be interested in potentially taking a trade against the trend. Okay? That's it. Other than that, you should be looking for calls. Try not to buy calls off of lower highs. All of the things, guys. There's things all over the place that you can watch for that would increase your odds of winning. Don't buy puts on resistance off of higher lows. Why, Jimmy? Well, because usually that resistance is going to fail. Well, here you go. Here's a higher low. Don't buy puts at this resistance. Up we go to the next resistance. Higher low. Would you buy puts up here? No. No, I wouldn't. I also wouldn't buy calls down here. I mean, I would buy calls down here because we're coming down to support during an uptrend. All right. Just look for this stuff all day long, guys. Now, if there's no room for Qs to move, I won't take a trade on SPY, ever. As we were getting close and above this line of resistance up here, struggling to get through their all-time highs, there was nothing for me to trade here. Okay, and I wasn't interested in playing puts. But that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to wrap this up. Hope you got some useful information in this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join our Discord community, well, we'd love to have you. There's a link down below. First week is completely free. And if you like what you get for that week, well, there are additional perks to joining after that week, if you're interested. That's pretty much it. Just remember, guys, watch the chart, trade with the trend. More trades doesn't equal more money. Trading later in the day gets more difficult. Just listen to what I'm saying. Try to implement some of the things that I'm teaching in these videos for a short period of time. Just try a one and done. Try taking half the amount of trades that you currently trade. Try taking only trades that are going with the trend. Tell me it doesn't help you do better. And then I'll shut up about it. No, I won't, because I know it does for the majority. But that's that. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Till tomorrow, I love you guys.